Welcome back. As you can see, the Nigerian tech industry has a significant player in Africa's economic development. So it is necessary for us to assess the proficiency, and effectiveness of the industry. Okay, we have in the house a cybersecurity analyst in the person of Aisha Bashir Tuku. She will be assessing the proficiency and effectiveness of the Nigerian tech industry. Aisha, you're welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us. I like the smile.
Yes, really, very calm.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's look at my first question to you. What are the factors that hinders effective ICT integration in the Nigerian education system?
When you look at the technology industry, is fast growing, and Nigeria happens to be one of the fastest growing tech industries in the world.
Okay.
With compound annual growth rate of about 12.4%. Now, when you look at this, you know that it's something really good to the economy if it's well in use. But like you said, what are the challenges? Challenges will always come. And for any developed country that doesn't have steady electric supply, it's an issue.
Okay.
That is the first.
So tech actually has to go hand in hand with electricity.
Tech goes hand in hand with electricity.
Wow.
Internet goes hand in hand with electricity, and tech is internet basically. You know, Internet of Things, doing data centers that solely runs on Gen for, let's say, 12 to 18 hours.
Wow.
How is that going to be productive for any business person when you look at it from the business perspective? Now, when we talk about having tech or using tech for anything, stable power supply is an issue. We are not there. We are not anywhere close to it. But power is one of the biggest challenges we have in this industry.
Wow. So how has it been now for the tertiary, the primary school? Because I feel even for a fast-growing economy like Nigeria, we need to actually start from the basic, the foundation. And I think for the primary school, what has been done to actually take it up from that point?
When you look at private schools in Abuja and most state capitals, they have clubs. And those clubs, yes, they have like the robotic clubs, the STEM clubs, the computer club. For the private school, they can afford to have laptops or tablets for their students. How about the public schools? What is the number of kids we have in public school?
Well, they have, I think, they call it the computer lab.
We have,
how many computers do they have?
If we have computer labs in public schools, how many computers do we have up and running? And do we always have a standby gen or a solar to power these systems to be used when the children are in school? You and I have a lot of privileges because we are living in the city center. What happens to those living in the rural area? What happens down in your state? What happens to the most rural area in those states? It's quite challenging, you know. How much is a computer now? How much is a UPS? And how much will you power that on solar or on gen to take students from Monday to Friday for classes? It's a lot of a challenge. I know there are so many NGOs, so many bodies that are doing good work regarding to contribution of the equipment itself. How about the maintenance? How much is a liter of fuel to run on gen to power this for the kids to use it?
Okay. So assuming this is actually working now for places where it's working, or maybe they need to actually make it work, how does it now help the educational system?
I must tell you that you and I, the things we know on the internet today, we don't know half of what our kids knows. You will see a 2-year-old. You will see a 2-year-old navigating your phone because probably he sees or she sees how you put your pattern, and they will now just cram it when you keep it. They put the pattern and start. Artificial intelligence is there. You understand? Artificial intelligence is there.
Yes.
My 11-year-old could ask me a question, and when I tell him, I'm not sure, he'll be like, forget it. The next thing is you see him pick your phone and you start Googling it.
Yes.
I gave him a task during this holiday, and before you know it, the guy was done. And I was like, Imran, you didn't do it. He said, why will I have to worry myself when I can get AI and get it done?
Yeah.
I said, no, AI is not human. I want you to use your brain. And do it. He said, Mama, the thing is, I've gotten it done. So, and if put well in use, if we can monitor them, if we can assist and guide them, instead of them seated doing nothing, they can use those things to build themselves. But you know, everything in excess without
exactly.
So it's a leash.
You have to be able to control it to an extent.
Exactly. You have to be able to like put a control measure to it and pay attention to that.
Okay. So where how do schools come in now? Because this one now is like a personal. You and your child at home. So how does school actually come in?
Okay, my 14-year-old happened to be in a boarding house, and they asked him to take laptops to school. And I was wondering, what do they need laptop for in the school? And I had to call. I called the school asking questions, and she told me, unfortunately, technology has come, digitalization is here, they need those tools. And what they do as well is they time them, right? If it's time for you to do XYZ using your laptop or your system or your tablet or whatever gadget you have access to in school, you use it, and once you're done, you're expected to submit it. And now, in most cases, most schools, if not all, any school that have access to internet and laptops or computers or systems, they put in softwares that can block all those sites that the children
there's a monitoring.
Yes, children under certain age cannot be able to go across those sites. In fact, for some, they go ahead to even disable the ports for you to USBs. So you cannot bring even external devices and plug into these systems and use it. Which I also think and feel is a good one, because imagine if a child sneaks in let's say memory card and brings it to school with movies, and time for you to do your homework, you're busy watching the movie, and when the teacher comes back to ask you, are you not done, submit it, and you could just flip the laptop and show her, no ma, I'm not done. And you'll be wondering, what is that child doing? You know, they are this smart. So most schools put in all those things to keep it in check, and also they keep educating the children. Okay, we don't just block you from going out the internet unsupervised, but there are so many ill things in there. There are so many things that are out there that you are not supposed to have access to at this age. And through sensitization and education, it helps a lot.
Okay, so let's look at the growth and transformation of this industry over the years.
I have witnessed so much growth in the IT industry, because I started as an IT intern 2007. And I always tell people around, I mean, from 2000 to now is over 15 years. There were no opportunities back then. We were just trying things, right? Now there are so many resources for free online that you can even use to start with. And when you look at the banking industry, remember 5-10 years ago, if you have to do transactions, you need to go to the bank, fill in teller, count huge amounts of money, send to this. Now with just a click from your phone, you transferred, and at times before you even dial the person, the moment the person picks will be like, I've received your alert. This is growth as far as I'm concerned, you know, and that can only become this effective if we are achieving growth and changes in the industry. Look at cyber threats, for instance. Before now, you could hear that somebody has lost huge amount of data or what to cyber threats, and it's gone. Now we have experts in the field trying to be proactive to see that, okay, these things are not being interfered. In advanced countries, we even go as far as checking in the airports with no human interface, you know. You scan your bag, you tag your bag by yourself, you go in, and once it's time you on board your flight, you pick your bag with no single human interface. I mean, that is good. And even in Nigeria, there are so many things that this technology has brought about. A lot of job opportunities. There are a lot of tech hubs in Nigeria that are doing wonderfully well. And because the international organizations are watching closely, they even go ahead to support with at times some kind of funding, at times some kind of training, And you just see someone in the house from morning till evening, Monday to Sunday, without even going out, and the person is learning.
Yes.
You understand? And the person is improving, and the person is working from home, remote jobs. That is improvement, if you ask me. How much do you want to fuel your car from Monday to Friday to go to work when you can achieve that from
You can
home?
do that.
You know?
Okay, but still, with even how far it has gone, I'm sure there's still room for improvement. So, what do you think needs to be done to actually improve more on technology in Nigeria?
In all honesty, government is trying, like I said, civil society organizations are trying, but we can do more. Technology needs funds. You have to invest in technology to get the best out of it. And
So
that
aside
includes
from electricity.
yes, funds.
Okay.
You have to fund it because this funding takes a lot of resources in going into trainings, for instance. The things you know as an IT intern 5 years ago is totally different from now. And yes, there are free resources, but those free resources cannot take you to the expert level. So you have to spend on buying courses, attending classes, researching, reading. That requires resources, right? You at times you have to even buy some gadgets, some like sophisticated laptops, tools for you to be able. The laptop that somebody who just researches something in it and just come up with writable content to use is totally different from a laptop that somebody like I will use for monitoring, analysis, and other things. So we need funds. They are quite expensive because the dollar goes high every day, and we don't really get to manufacture a lot of these things in here, apart from I think is it Omatech also. So how do we balance that?
Wow. Okay, so let's have your final word for those who are in the ICT industry.
If you find yourself in the tech industry or you intend to go into tech, be ready to learn, be ready to read, be ready to research. Because trust me, if you're out of the tech space for 2 years,
you will be left behind.
You just come back and like you're confused. You have to read. There are daily trends going on. There are daily news. There are daily innovations. So you have to constantly research and read. Then find your specialization. Where do I want to focus? IT is quite broad. Where do I want to put my mind on? Where do I want to keep reading? Where do I want to keep researching? Where do I was in a group of young ladies, and they came into a WhatsApp group. Everybody was introducing themselves. I'm a student. I'm this. I have this. I was like, wow, you are a student and you can do this. You have this. I said 16 years ago when we started, we only focus on just certification. We don't know things, Yes. A lot of youngsters are doing so much to build themselves, but they need to have an enabling environment and some kind of supporting funds to make it much more easier. Somebody who wants to do a lot with a laptop that cannot afford to buy a laptop, how can that person experience their skills, And most of these things, you can't really use your phone to get it done.
Yes.
You understand? You need a system. And for the high-tech people, you don't just need a system, you need a high-spec system. So that is the support that is needed.
Thank you so much. We can go on and on and on. Okay, thank you. We've been speaking with a cybersecurity analyst. I know I'm smiling because she is a lady and she's loaded. You heard from her. She's loaded. She has just told us the issues and then the advantages, and the things that happen in the tech world. Thank you so much.